James Harden and Kyrie Irving, both players have until Wednesday to decide whether they want to accept those hefty player options for next year or test the open market. Here is Tim Legler with more on Harden and the Sixers.
Sounds to me like what's going to happen is James Harden's going to opt in to $47 million. You can't blame him because he's not going to get $47 million year one on the open market if he becomes a free agent. I think he opts in, and it sounds like he's going to sign a shorter-term extension rather than like a 4-year supermax. Maybe he gets another additional 2 years. I think the bottom line is this. That will give the Sixers some time to at least see maybe the first half of the season how he looks with Joel Embiid. What's the impact on Tyrese Maxey? What else are they doing with their roster? Because Tobias Harris is a guy they might move. They're talking about maybe trying to get PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon. There are guys out there they think could be better fits. It gives the Sixers time. But ultimately, here's what I believe. I think Tyrese Maxey needs to be given control of the offense. The sooner he becomes your starting point guard, I think the better chances you have of making a run through the Eastern Conference with a dominant force like Joel Embiid. And I think as long as Harden is there with some of the playoff issues he has had, I think these are going to surface year after year and at the expense of Tyrese Maxey's development. I think that would be the long-term best interest for the Sixers. But Harden opting in and signing a short-term extension gives them more time to evaluate that and try to make that happen. But I think that's the best long-term solution for Philadelphia. Tyrese Maxey having the ball, having control of the offense while you still got Joel Embiid in his prime.
Thanks, Legs. Well, when the Sixers acquired Harden in February from the Nets, he was only one full season removed from winning his third straight scoring title. It just, so much has happened since then. That version, obviously, of Harden was not present this past season, especially in the playoffs. 18.6 points a game in the postseason, his fewest since his last season with the Thunder all the way back in 2012 when he was a sixth man.
Option in 2022 with $47 million. JJ Redick, should the Sixers give Harden that supermax?
No, they shouldn't. I'd have a real hard time paying James Harden $60 million at age 37. Again, I've mentioned this a few times, but we have these cameras in the arena that track everything. And, his top speed has been down 2 miles per hour over the last year and a half. His blow-by rate is significantly less, about 25% less than it was in his Houston years. And maybe some of that is health. Maybe that's some of his lingering issue from the hamstring injury. I get that. You just had a game 6 where he shot 2 for 11. He took 2 shots in the second half. It'd be hard for me if I'm the ownership group, if I'm Daryl Morey. I know the relationship is there. It's hard for me to justify that. Having said all that, Pat, James Harden is still a fantastic player.
What's fantastic?
Fantastic? He's an all-star level point guard.
Give me someone else who's fantastic so I can compare the two.
Well, I think you were, on an earlier show, you compared it to Chris Paul's contract. So Chris Paul's contract that he re-signed with Phoenix is $120 million, 4 years. There's a partial guarantee on the third year. Chris signed that when he was 36. I would fully expect James Harden to get more than that, to get more money than that, but I'd have a hard time giving him a supermax at this point in time in his career.
Max. Supermax, whatever the word is, after Supermax, that's what you give him. He's James Harden. He's changed the game. You look at the all-time three-pointers made on the list, I believe he's 3. And he will finish behind Steph Curry at 2. This is a person you give the Supermax to, no hesitation about it. If you hesitate about it, he will go somewhere else. So who else do you get in place of him?
So you're, okay, go ahead. You got it.
Stop.
Stop what?
Stop.
So
good and damn well.
So the viewers
they get no super max.
You're right.
Good and damn well.
Because he deserves to get the super max.
He don't
right.
deserve the super max. Super max. Hell, he don't deserve the max. Stop it.
Are you kidding me?
Did I stutter?
Are you kidding me?
Let me tell you. First of all, let me break this down. Patrick Beverley, you don't get paid just for what you've done. You get paid because they're projecting what you will do. And when you look at James Harden, whether it's due to the hamstring injury or whatever, he's not the same dude.
And what's the same? I understand.
He's not the prolific
30,
scorer.
15 to 15.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
But he's 22, 9, and 8.
Yes, 22, 9, and 8. Yeah, I go with that. He's 22, 9, and 8. That number right there. Let's go with your number.
All right.
That is not a supermax player. That is not a stop it.
Chris Paul
That-
didn't get
excuse me,
22, 9, and 8,
excuse me.
but he got-
Chris Paul had just gone to the finals, which James Harden has never done. Let's be clear about that.
Chris Paul's not a supermax contract.
And that's not a supermax
It's not a
contract.
super- it's not
So
even
let's
close
take
to a
that into
supermax
consideration
contract.
as well. That's number 2. Number 3, let's get back to Harden. Harden is no scrub. The brother can ball. We know this. We know how incredible he was for years. I mean, went like 8 straight years averaging a minimum of 27 points a game. Went 5 straight years averaging a minimum of 29, 3 straight years averaging over 30. We know what Harden
he
brings
was
to the
my
table,
teammate,
but
I know.
he is not. Exactly. That's why I'm talking to you, because you know better. Because the fact of the matter is, when you look at him now, there is a clear drop-off from what you once saw. And so if you're telling me that Harden deserves to get paid because of years of service, hell with it, give it to him, because you're right. But if you're talking about projecting moving forward, remember he's due to get that 47 this upcoming year. He opts in, he's getting $47 million next year. But if he opts out, then he's looking for a long-term deal. You trying to tell me this brother deserves
Or they
a
could,
max?
they could max him off of the number.
Exactly.
They could max him off
Trying to
of
tell me they're
47,
going to
yeah.
get him? Of course I know this.
Extension, yeah,
So you're going to sit up there and tell me that he deserves to get paid $60 million when he's 37
Because
years
if he
of age?
don't,
Stop it.
if Philly's not going to give it to him, someone else will.
They won't.
Now you stop it.
I promise
now
you that.
You don't,
I
hey,
promise
don't
you
throw
that.
your computer
Hold
at me.
on.
Now you got your girl want to throw your computer at me. I don't know what's
I'm
going
not
on.
even mad.
Let
I'm
me
just
scoot over a
waiting
little
so I
bit.
can get
I'm
in
not
here.
finished.
She
I'm
wanna
not
throw
finished.
it- what's
I'm not
going on?
finished.
Okay.
He got to Philadelphia, never attempted 20 shots in one single game, okay? He went about 15
Trying
to
to fit
16
in.
of the last 15 of the last 16 games or so, never scored 25 points or more but one time, okay? When you 2 shots in a closeout game, 2 shot attempts in the second half. No, you're not getting a max off of that kind of performance. I'm sorry. You know better. I know you know better.
Right, super duper max.
No
No.
super duper, no super, no max.
Well, if Philly doesn't give it to him, I guarantee it's a team in the NBA that will give it to him.
Oh, so you're trying to tell me there's a sucker? Hold on, you gonna follow my philosophy?
No,
there's a sucker born every minute. That's what we saying?
I'm just giving you what my coach say. I'm just the weather, man. I'm just giving you the weather, brother. If it's gonna rain, it's not.
Okay.
No matter what, he's
All right,
getting a supermax.
All right, fair enough.
Right, well, hold on.
I'll go
One
away from
clarification
the
on that.
Let me
He can't
ask
sign.
you-
He can only sign a supermax with Philly. Let's be clear.
Okay.
Let me
He
ask
can sign
you
a
this.
max contract with
a
another
max
team.
contract with everybody, supermax for Philly. Let me ask you this question. You are running an organization in the NBA.
What organization?
No, don't give me which. You just
can't-
told me you just told me super duper max.
Yeah, but
Don't
I'm
give me
saying,
which
but you can't. Okay,
organization.
you can't tell me I run the Washington Wizards, and now you're gonna tell me I run the LA Lakers. It's 2 different organizations. So give me a good one. Stop saying
Both.
this stuff doesn't say it.
How about both of them?
Okay,
First
cool.
of all, I don't say stuff to say. You know
Okay,
better than me.
okay.
I say what I mean.
Okay.
Secondly, and more importantly, I'm asking you any organization you want. You give me an organization that can justifiably look at James Harden right now and say, excuse me, I want to invest max dollars in you for the next 3 or 4 years. Who's that organization?
Anybody.
Oh my God.
Don't put God in this.
I'm sorry, you're right. I
me
won't
and
put
you
I won't
talking.
put the Lord's name in there, but oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You got to be crazy.
No, not
you
crazy.
got to be crazy.
Not crazy. Very sane.
Well, first of all, you can't go back to that because Philly don't have the same personnel as Houston had, right? They had all shooters, and they stood out at the three-point line, and that allowed him to do his
Houston,
thing,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Houston. Now with Philly, you got to feed the big man. That's the first and number one option on offense is Joel Embiid, and that should be. James got to make the adjustment, not the players. He's got to adjust to who he's playing with right now. And then figure out, listen, maybe I don't need to score 20 every night. If I get Harris involved, and what's the young guard? Maxey, then I'm okay. That's 3 scores right there. And then he can play a lesser role. He doesn't have to go back to being James Harden of Houston for them to win.
I feel you, but my question would be this. When we watch Maxey, what we see is a guy that operates from the point guard spot. So if you take him off the ball because the ball is in James Harden's hands more, I don't know if he can be that scorer that he is when he has the ball. See, you know this. You know this better than me. There are people who can excel off the ball, and then there are people who need to be on the ball.
Right.
I think in terms of Maxey being a formidable scorer, he needs to be on the ball. If he plays off the ball, I don't know how effective he would be. What do you say to that?
Well, I say this. What I would do is this. I would play Maxey, start him like he's starting now. Then I would have him go to the bench first. so he could play with the second five.
Okay.
And be that scorer and look for his shots. Because what happens is this. You got to figure out how can you get production from that bench because they have not been producing for the Sixers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe putting Maxey, taking him out of the game early to let him play with those guys, the production will go up for the bench. James Harden has to figure this out. This is what this is about. This is about winning championships. This is not about whether I'm scoring 30 points to show everybody I can still score 30 points. Mm-hmm. It's not about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is about winning. This is about, hey, Joe Embiid and I got to take the Sixers to the NBA Finals and win a championship.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In order for them to do that, he's got to do less, not more. Mm-hmm. James Harden has got to do less, not more, because he has guys that can put it in the basket. And then Molly, last but not least, is this. You got to justify this trade.
Yes, you
James
do.
Harden.
Yeah.
See?
And you got to show you can get it done in the playoffs.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's how you got to justify it. You know, so now you got to show everybody you can really lead a team to the NBA Finals and win the championship, James Harden.
Especially when Kyrie looked him in the face, according to reports, and told him, you washed up. He said that to him.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason they had to fall out in Brooklyn.
Wow.
And Brooklyn went in there and beat them by what? Almost 30 points
I was at the game.
at home.
I left. I left when they were down by 30. It was bad.
Before we get to MVP, real
bad.
quick, so would you have the Bucks out of the East right now? I know a lot can change.
Yeah,
the 4 games are separated
no, the
by
champ
2.5.
is the favorite.
Okay.
Milwaukee is just 1 through 15 is just really the best team. They're playing the best, but I'd say Miami is if Miami can get past whatever issues they had, they have the talent too.
Yeah.
I love their roster. I love their coach. I think that they're tough as well.
Miami Bucks. That's music to your ears because you'd be in Miami.
Because I'd be in Miami. I would be very happy. I would be very, very happy.
We know.
And watch out for Dallas and Memphis in the West.
Memphis,
I
Dallas,
don't think Golden State gonna get there.